Something that I seem to have noticed in the difference between INTJs and INFJs is um, INFJs can have a problem trusting people too much, and they have to kind of learn to go in the other direction, whereas INTJs could have a problem trusting people too little, and they have to go in the other direction on that. So, like a practical ways that it will work out, for example, is an INTJ in a group of people is gonna like come out maybe thinking, well, everybody else is an idiot and I'm not, and whereas the INFJ is gonna assume that they're an idiot and everyone else isn't, and so like the INTJ is gonna be surprised if somebody else knows more about them in a situation, whereas the INFJ is gonna be surprised if they knew more, like after a while we'll be like, you know what, nobody even knows what's going on here, and then like we'll take charge after that or whatever. INTJs are, according to socionics, they're perceivers. So they're primarily focused on taking in information, not in coming to a conclusion about it. Also, you can kind of get them mixed up a little bit with ISTJs in a way, because they have the same, the ISTJs have the TE, and then the TI for their sixth function, the TE for their second, and then the TI for their sixth, just like the INTJ. And then the ISTJs put the NI out there, so they have their little NIE, especially when they don't know you, you first meet them, that sort of thing. And the INTJs, of course, do the opposite. They have the SI that they put out there. So, but INTJs and INFJs have a certain flair in the way that they dress because of that SE, which the ISTJs, they have a very more of a practical way of dressing. And also I've kind of noticed that people that are NE, I guess maybe because they have the SI and they're conscious of their personal comfort and stuff, they kind of feel uncomfortable with clothes or something, like they're always conscious of the clothes. But like NI people, it's kind of, they wear more flowy things, and it's kind of like more extension of who they are. It's kind of weird, it's kind of different, but that's kind of a way to tell them apart. According to socionics, INTJs and INFJs can have problem feeling their significance when they're around each other, just because, we have some similar strengths there. And also there can be difficulties if they're not naturally in kind of a equal social whatever, which I can see that. And also it can be difficult for them, like they can't, if they give advice to the other one, not something the other person can actually use. So one thing I remember from when I was little is that I would remember the whole social landscape and the whole, emotional landscape and everything of how everyone related to each other, and just like how things were, and like the whole thing as a whole, and how everything fit together and everything, and so much as I could perceive it, as a child. And my sister will remember the layout of every house we were in. And I don't remember the layout of every house, right? I don't remember the layout of any of the houses. I just remember vividly a certain room, or maybe vaguely another room there, but I have no idea how they connected, and I don't see the whole thing. So I can imagine that maybe for an INTJ it would kind of be like that, looking at the emotional and social landscape from when they're little. Of course, this sort of thing varies from person to person and what you're going through and all that sort of thing, but also because they have the SE, as their fourth, and it's not something you can really count on so much. I remember when we were little, we would get to roughhousing. She just really liked to roughhouse, and finally I figured out, guess what? I'm not big enough to really control this very well, and I couldn't, count on my SE, so she would usually end up getting hurt, and so I was just like, even if she does like it, that's it, we're not doing this anymore. She was little, because that TE, they're good at emergencies and stuff, so she would put herself on the edge of the bed and start falling off and say, help, I'm falling off, help me, she just likes creating that emergency kind of situation. And I have a INTJ little relative that we haven't been around very much, so she can't be copying my sister, who doesn't actually do that anymore anyway. But she was doing the same thing. And she was also doing another thing my sister did, which was like right before you go sit down on the couch, you just go lie down on the couch so you have to sit on top of her, that kind of thing. Of course, because she has TE, she's good at saying what she thinks right away, you know. I'm still like trying to figure it out what it is that I think and then what I want to say from there, but she already got it out. And just think if there's anything else. INTJs really don't like it. I guess on the opposite side of the thing that they need, the intellectual stimulation, they really hate it if you know something and they know you know it and you won't tell them. That just really kind of drives them bonkers. And because they have that TE, they are really into efficiency, and it can be pretty hard for them to deal with people when they're not being efficient, for them to be patient. I guess how INFJ is how we are, probably with our FE, like, it's as plain as the nose on your face. Can't you see this person's feeling that way? Why did you blah, blah, blah? She kind of gets around, and I think the INTJs can kind of get around their FE blind spot by, they can be really good at observing, like, body language, like consciously observing body language, you know. I do this subconsciously, but they can really utilize that really well. I have to, like, literally stare at something in the moment if I was going to do that, but they can do it. And, you know, I was talking to my sister about that, and she's like, oh, I can do that because I'm just so bored when I'm standing there. And I'm like, well, gee, I'm getting so much information, it's almost overwhelming. So that's a pretty huge difference there. And I think that is about all that occurs to me at the moment.